He's a really loud chewer.
Anyway, let's start.
All right.
Morgan, take it away.
All right, let's do it.
Take number 10. I don't even know. Now my voice is fucked. We already started.
3, 2, 1.
Episode 1, The Origin Story.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the Coffee Club, a new exciting podcast with some runner boys. This is officially episode 1 for us. Last week, we tried to film an episode, and that's episode 0. That's a hidden secret episode. You guys will never get to see that one.
Never.
It was absolutely terrible. You don't want to see it. But we're back to try again. This is episode 1. Just to get us going, little introductions. Myself, I'm Morgan McDonald. Do you guys want to share a fun fact about each other? Has anyone got a fun fact about me?
Ooh.
I've got a fun fact
That is
about
a good
Morgan
idea.
McDonald. So Morgan McDonald is technically a chicken. Chicken boy Morgs.
Chicken boy Morgs.
I think the one thing that you guys would probably know that if you're watching this and know his YouTube is that he's actually more of a cat than a chicken. So
I'm a big cat guy.
He's a big cat guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually persuade that his persona.
You guys haven't seen that side of me yet.
But we'll get to that side in a sec. But Morgan is pretty much a cat. So living with him is a cat.
Yeah, and so then
That's a fun fact about
that's me done. Next to me we have...
My name's Ollie Hall. And fun fact, guys, anybody got a fun fact about me? I don't know if there are many that aren't kind of in the public.
Fun fact, which is very good public knowledge at this point, is that Ollie drinks an amazing amount of Mountain Dew, or just any soft drinks in general.
I'm a big soda
Honestly,
guy.
I think cream soda.
Cream soda is, my new poison.
He has a Dr. Pepper sitting on the table over there, which he's just hiding.
I just sculled that actually. Now I'm on my coffee, so caffeine's through the roof now. So I'm going to be off my head.
Yeah,
with this podcast.
And then our other member, who unfortunately isn't in person with us today, is...
What's up?
George Beamish. Say your thing.
I'm in Flagstaff.
Okay, fun fact about Geordie, he has...
Well, I know. I thought he was going to say what he said last time, which was chowder.
Oh yeah, chowder. Say chowder.
You mean on episode -1?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, Geordie's from New Zealand, so he sometimes speaks in Maori, and we have no idea what he's saying.
As two Australians, we don't know that language that well.
No clue.
Fun fact about George, he has to shower every night before bed. It's a routine. He's always showering before bed.
Actually, I'm kind of like that as well.
Yeah, but it's like clockwork. Anytime I'm with Geordie, he has to shower before bed just to make sure he feels good when he jumps in to snuggle.
I like that.
All right, well, Morgan.
Yeah. All right, that's true.
So, this is we're really still figuring this out. Last episode 0, we spent probably the first 20 minutes going through all the rules for the podcast and explaining our ideas behind it, which are very unfinished ideas. I should put in there. So maybe we can just very quickly go through some of the rules that we laid down. I don't know if it was rule 1, but kind of the point is to drink coffee. I already finished my coffee because we've been trying to film this for about half an hour right now, and we're only finally getting going. So my coffee is gone. I don't think George has a coffee.
I don't. But I had coffee
Violation.
in Flag a couple of hours ago, and it was delicious.
Yeah, he's close to strike 2 already.
Yeah.
He's already close to strike 2. This is the first episode.
Getting real close.
And
I
Geordie's
think
already...
that is 2 strikes.
Pushing the label.
Strikes, man.
We're calling this the Coffee Club podcast.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got a bloody coffee in his hand.
Ollie, you
Yeah.
would like that place, actually.
I probably would.
Wait, where'd you go?
It's called Lux.
Lux.
We actually almost went in Phoenix when we were down there training. There's one in Phoenix.
Okay,
the one in Flagstaff.
sweet.
We'll have to check it out.
Of course it is. But so kind of the idea behind this podcast was I've kind of joined the team when we were in Eugene for the Olympic trials, and none of us were competing obviously in the Olympic trials because it's 2 Aussies and a New Zealander. And then we also had Carlos, who represents Mexico, and we had our chiropractor Jason there, amazing guy, and we would really enjoy just going out for coffees, and it would be called Coffeeclub, and you just go to a nice cafe there in Eugene and just sit down and chat and have a bunch of coffees. And so that's kind of what we're trying to reconnect to here, I guess, is just those fun conversations and just invite a few more people in through sharing them on the internet. So I don't know if that was a rule, but that's kind of like that's like the birth of the idea behind the Coffee Club podcast.
That's the origin story.
That's our origin story.
I feel like it's a good one too. Like that is legit how that happened.
Episode 21, Outclassed.
Things to address, which we didn't address last week. Obviously, I said this to George. Congrats. I gave George his big congrats on winning Milrose, but we need to give Ollie his big congrats as well. Want to make a mile. Whoop. Want to make a mile.
Whoop. Don't forget the Whopper in there. Don't forget the Whopper.
Want to make a mile champion.
Yeah.
Taking down fierce rival Josh Kerr.
Dude, we're big rivals now. Big rivals since college.
Then flexing on him in the post-race interview.
Yeah, fuck.
What was the quote? What was the quote?
Oh, he got a bit outclassed in that last bit of the race. I think that was something to do with the quote that I said on Citrus Mag.
Yeah. And that sparked a little bit of controversy.
I wouldn't say controversy, just someone's feelings got hurt.
So is this you standing by it?
No, I think I stand by it purely on the fact that it's a comment that I made about the last section of a race. And whether you call it fitness or not, I kind of outclassed him at the end because I did pass him and win the race. So take what you want with it. It is January. So not really, not a big deal, but people say it's not a big deal when they don't win. So
yeah.
But Josh had a great post going into it saying that that lovely little Instagram post he put out saying, you better be looking forward to that Want to Make a Mile unless you're a spectator. Oh no, only for a spectator. So
yeah,
if you weren't a spectator, you shouldn't be looking forward to it. I hope you had a good time. But I thought that post was quite entertaining. It's good for the sport. Gets the people going, gets the rivalry going, and I made a comment after the race that I'm sure will cause a bit of...
Yeah, we're still not quite sure if Ollie knows what his comment means.
That's the thing.
Pretty standard, Ollie.
No, I mean, I say things sometimes I don't know what they mean,
So that was the thing. I think George and I had a very similar initial reaction to it when we saw it, which was like, ooh, like, did he mean to say what he just said? Like,
do you want me to be honest with you guys? do you want to hear it from me first? Yeah, I was not, I didn't know why I said that. I think I meant to say that I had... The way I was trying to word it was that I obviously had more strength than he did in the last 200 of the race at this time of the year, which obviously, again, it's February, March, April, January. I did that, little circle thing. But yeah, I definitely used the wrong word. And Morgan and George are very, very... they're very good friends in the way they always pick up on when I say the wrong word for certain things. And I do it on the pod all the time, as you guys know. So I think I said the wrong word there, but now I'm doubling down. And I'm holding on to it.
Yeah, well,
that's the only way you can respond to that.
So that was the thing. I was like, yeah, I think Ollie insulted Josh personally in a way that he didn't mean to. But then the more I thought about it afterwards and hearing you talk about it, Josh Kerr has these really weirdly aggressive posts all the time.
He really does.
All the time.
He seems
weirdly
mad
aggressive.
on Instagram all the time.
And he had it what you just mentioned, a perfect example before the race where I was like, why did he say that?
I didn't understand that post when he said that you should be looking forward to Want to Make a only if you're a spectator.
So then it's if you beat him, I don't maybe
I'm pretty sure,
maybe you rub it in a little.
I'm pretty sure Cody Alexander had a great race and he looked forward to it. So some people didn't have the best race, but it's just racing. Who gives a people move on. You move on to the next one.
Yeah, I think it won't be the biggest race that Josh and Ollie have this year, and I think there's plenty of those to look forward to.
Yeah. And it'll be. I can't wait to hear what's said after the next one.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta learn to say the right thing.
No,
because
Josh is going back for indoors, right?
No.
Back to the UK.
He's doing. He said he was gonna potentially do. I think he said he was going back for the British trials, but he's not doing indoors, world indoors.
Yeah.
So why is he going back for the British trials?
He said he's not indoor. He's not an indoor runner. And
was this before or after you beat him?
This is after I beat him.
Okay.
He said that he only runs... The reason why he doesn't run as many races as he usually does is because he likes to win and he doesn't believe into running into fitness bullshit. The Rust Busters. Oh, it's the Rust Buster today.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in that crap, so he's much more of a guy that will pick the races that he knows that he's going to prepare for and then do them, and indoor worlds is not one of them.
We didn't pick that bone about Rustbusters last week. We've been meaning to for a while.
Mate, what a good Rustbuster for the OAC at Milrose Games.
Yeah, the classic excuse of busting the rust.
I've been training really, really well, and then I'm just going to go out here and have a little
couple of weeks of fitness away.
There's a few options. You got Rustbuster. You got haven't done speed work yet.
Haven't done any training. He's done no training.
You're seeing them all right now.
Probably
Yeah,
had
it's been-
COVID a few weeks ago.
I had
That's probably a
COVID,
good one.
yeah, that's another one.
That's a
Actually.
pretty
Coming
valid one.
Yeah, that's probably pretty
That's
valid.
valid. But
Hey, tell that to Nico Young.
wait, did he have COVID?
He
yeah,
did.
COVID.
yeah,
He ran
yeah.
402 in the dome.
Oh
Literally
man, made him
after he had
stronger. Made him stronger.
Yeah, because you got that ham and cheese.
What I was talking to Jake over the weekend.
Whiteman.
Yeah, and I was
Whiteman.
realizing what will be a good matchup.
I
will
like
be-
him a lot. I like Jake Whiteman.
I mean, obviously, Worlds and other races where there's more people, but more specifically, the Com Games,
Oh, yeah.
1500, where
Those
it'll
are
be like
exciting.
That's gonna be crazy. Actually, that's gonna
there's
be
a
pretty
lot of pride on the
pretty hard.
line
Yeah.
for that one. It's not just World Champs. It's like what we actually.
If you're an American,
We'll pretty much
listening-
know the entire field, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
very
you're an American
head-to-head.
listening to this, you probably won't give a shit. But Commonwealth Games is a pretty big deal for people that are in the Commonwealth, and that's pretty much most of the world except for the US and like China.
I've forgotten. But if everyone
definitely
from
not
the,
most
if
of the world.
all those UK,
most of the
if
world.
all those UK
Whatever been
runners
colonized by the UK.
run Com Games, there could be like 9 British guys in the final because they all
Yeah, it's
run.
wild.
Like 3 of them are Scottish and they're really good. There's like 2 330 English runners. Jake Hayward's Welsh.
yeah, they all get to represent.
They all
their-
get
those
to represent
countries.
their individual countries.
Yeah, the
so
1500 will be so stacked.
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy.
it'll be ridiculous.
Because then you
That'd
have
be so
Kenya as well. There you have
Yeah, which who
Uganda.
sometimes don't send their best, but
True.
normally they send decent runners.
Uganda.
Uganda.
Isn't it now?
Yeah,
I went back and watched Mottram
Oh,
That's a tough race to watch.
it's like the greatest race of all time.
lose the 5K. Not
a-
even lose. It's not even the right way to say
He
it.
didn't
Come
lose.
second.
He got second, but he should have won.
But also fall in the 1500
Yeah,
when Nick Willis won.
it's travesty, man. Freaking Nick Willis.
Willis crushed everyone
Yeah, he
in
did.
that.
But
Melbourne,
Craig Martin was
Melbourne,
meant to win
Melbourne
the 1500
2006.
as well. Like he thought he was
Me-
going to.
I mean, he'd lost to Willis like 2 weeks before that in the
Had he?
mile.
Yeah, fair. I don't
But
know.
watching them battle out would have been sweet.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
fell.
But then he tripped him over, and that was that.
So that's a preview of Com Games 8 months out.
Yeah.
No, 6 months.
No, I
whatever
think
it
that's
is.
going to be exciting. I think Com Games is going to be pretty stacked. And it's going to be interesting to see how people react after Worlds. Because I feel like you're not
Yeah,
going
it's
to be...
just a few weeks later.
You're never going to have
Pretty
that
much got
experience
2
again of
2
competing
weeks.
at a World Championships and going again.
Dude, and then
competing at a
they'll have
high
to go
level
one more
world.
time at Europeans.
Yeah, true.
the British
Europeans
guys.
after that. So
That
that's even
sounds
like-
brutal.
that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
That's a
And
lot
I'm
of good
sure a
racing
lot of
on
them
the
won't do
calendar.
Europeans. I'm sure a lot of them won't do it.
I think they will.
I think
I mean, if
Europeans
they
is
do
big
Worlds,
for them.
Worlds and Coms,
I would say Europeans
mean-
could almost be bigger than Com Games. I mean, I don't know.
maybe you're
it's
right.
easier.
I don't know. It just seems a lot of racing in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Well, it's not easier in terms of talent, but it's easier in terms of Com Games is like the Olympics. It's like a village and stuff. It's
very
a big
similar-
thing.
It's a
to
very
do.
similar setup to the Olympics.
But back to Kerr, we were talking about the video because Sit and Kick podcast, who's some other like running podcast, you probably haven't heard of it, but it's Josh Kerr and David Ribbage, and live they showed. I don't know how much Josh Kerr plays this up and how much he just doesn't pay attention as well. Yep, like he hadn't seen the quote from Ollie about outclassing him until David Ribbage showed it to him live on air, which I do believe that. But like Citrus Mag was putting that quote everywhere, so it was kind of hard to avoid it. But he got like pretty fiery in his response, and Ollie claims he hasn't seen the video. I don't know if it's true.
I've seen a video. I don't think it's the one that you talked about.
How
I
many
don't know
videos
how
are
many
there?
there are. of-
There was one like there's a couple of seconds on Instagram.
Yeah, you might. I guess you might have just seen a clip
It
from
might have
it.
been a short clip of it.
But
It's not a
he-
very
and he
long
looked a
video
bit-
either way.
He got really defensive.
Yeah, he
but
looked a
the
bit
funniest thing, like, obviously clapping back at you is what you would expect.
No.
But for some reason, he decided to drag Tinman into it as well. He made fun of Tinman.
Wait, really?
Well, he made fun of Ollie for wearing a whoop, which is.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "What do you think you are, a Tinman?"
oh yeah.
I was like, "Okay, where'd that come from?" And then at the end, the very end of it, I went back and watched this last night. He said something like, "Make sure you don't get too big for your boots in January. You're gonna end up like Ed Ches." He just brings Ed Ches into it for no reason.
I didn't
Wait,
catch
why-
either of those two
Wait,
references.
why is that as an example? I don't.
I have
understand
no
that.
idea. I think because he
Have
beat
to
him
ask
one
him.
time, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
What, in
was-
college?
It was really weird.
Well, the first thing is
Bring up
as
Tin Man and Chiz
the
randomly,
shout out
seems
to Sit and Kick is going to really help their following. They really obviously want to tap into this resource. And as the boys would say, as Ribbich and Kel would say, it's a bit of banter.
Okay, dude, the word banter needs to be cancelled.
Oh, dude,
We gotta get rid of that.
I mean, it
I'm
is
glad we
cancelled.
don't use that.
But
yeah.
no, it's a bit of banter. But I mean, like, to be honest, I think Josh is just he's just starting the fire, getting the rivalry, getting the.
Hey, you started the fire, bro.
Yeah, I accidentally lit the match.
Yeah.
Should we hear it from the horse's mouth? Sit and kick. Good for the sport or not good for the sport?
Oh, sitting kick is good for the sport.
Right.
I think
end of the day.
the word
At the end of the day,
the word
hashtag good for the
banter
sport.
is not. I think I'm sick of that word. Just
Fair enough.
talk about, just say that you're talking shit to each other. I don't know.
Yeah, we
But
got.
they are good for the sport, and I do love what they do. And yeah, no, I have a lot of respect for Josh. I think he's an amazing athlete. But that whole, I mean, from what you just described, it's obviously just. I mean, if you get beaten by someone and someone says they outclassed you, I can imagine you want to defend yourself. And the way he defended himself, you know, I don't know. Well, whoop, I'm a sellout. Hashtag sellout. I'm not selling out.
Quote Nick Harris.
Nick Harris quote, I'm not selling out, I'm cashing in. But I mean, the Tin Man thing, I don't get, because a lot of the people wear the Whopper Jr. other than Tin Man. I guess that's the only example I could think of.
Yeah, he could have gone for, who's that? He could have gone for Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes, or like any golfer.
Who do you think you are, Pat Mahomes?
Pat Mahomes, mate. And the egg treasure thing, I don't understand. I would really hope. Did he roast me about not winning a medal at the Olympics? That's what he should have roasted me for.
He said he didn't roast you directly. He said something along the lines of like, "Mate, I got a medal. How are you outclassing me?"
He said how many medals do you have, son, or something.
No, that's a good roast, because I don't
Dude,
have any medals.
that was fucking last year. Who remembers last year, man? We're living in 2022.
I'm still running that race in my head, man, mentally.
We're living in 2022.
No, but that would be the only. I thought if he was going to roast me, it'd be the medal roast, which I think is pretty good, and then the other roast would be. I actually can't think of one, but
you're unroastable.
No, I am pretty roastable, honestly. You guys know that. But
well, that's what makes me think that Ollie is not sure what is in a class or not. Like, if having a medal is in a class, then I'm not sure what Ollie's view of being in a different class to someone with a medal from a global championship.
The reason why I think that outclassing word came into my
3:29.
head is because I didn't expect him to go that early. Even though I know
How does that put that word in your head?
Well, because I don't know, because I
wait. I think I just understood it through Ollie finally. I think he's saying he tactically outclassed him.
I think
is that what you're saying?
But it's not really a tactical win, because he literally just went in front of me and like, oh, you beauty, I'm just going to pass you in the last 100.
That is tactics.
Well, that's only because you were fitter than him. If he went in front of you and you couldn't catch him, then he wins.
Fitness outclass. I don't know. I don't know. That's not even a word. But
I don't know.
From the view of it, yeah, Joshua just didn't have the legs in the last lap. It was on January 29th.
Let me put my quote out here for the Coffee Club pod, that it was a great race.
No, this isn't the official view of the Coffee Club pod. This is Ollie Hall's view.
All I'm saying is it was a great race.
View.
I had a great time,
and we got outclassed.
You know, I was fitter on the day.
Episode 58. The boys learn about pregnancy with Kate Grace.
I don't even know where to start, but if you had to just give a little update on like where you're at right now with everything, what would you say?
So actually, this is the even more special day. I'm 20 weeks today. So that means halfway, for those of you who don't understand pregnancy. Okay.
You're talking to three males.
Okay.
3 males around the age of 26.
I thought you just meant
Don't
that was
know
like a
what
cool
that
round
means.
number.
It is a nice number.
I like the 20 weeks nice.
20 weeks is halfway. So I think of it kind of like a long run. Well, it's kind of like the easier half. You know, like I like out and backs, and so when you turn around, it's like then it doesn't count anymore. So now I'm like, okay, well I'm halfway now. It doesn't count anymore.
You think it gets easier from this point?
Well, in the analogy, long runs get easier at the halfway point. In my mind, it's like you make it to the halfway and then you're just going home.
That's a great mentality.
Negative mileage.
Yeah. But I think now I'm gonna like actually be pregnant. Like I mean,
So you don't reckon you've been pregnant yet? This will be like, okay, now I'm gonna actually be pregnant. Right.
I mean, I honestly for a while like was forgetting. I was pretty lucky with it in the beginning. And I honestly like kept up pretty normal training up until like last week. I'm still running, but like kind of pulled back a mileage a little bit. But now I'm supposed to be gaining like a pound a week.
Wow.
Which is wild.
That's some good gains.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's like I have to be like a lifter or something. So I'm up like 15 pounds right now.
Nice.
So I'm definitely feeling that on my runs.
Yeah, that would be very different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny. But I mean, I don't know. In general, yeah. What do you want to know? Can I teach you about pregnancy?
Have you got any cravings yet? Anything that's like any kind of.
Yeah. Well, I was eating, I mean, for a while. So like first it's wild. You like make twice the amount of blood volume. Obviously, like you have to like literally create a human. We had the anatomy scan. And it's like you literally are growing. Everything's grown, like the organs, the brain, the bones. Like you can see it all in there. It's like it's like an alien is growing in you.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. When you said alien, all I think about is like the Alien movie where it's gonna like burst out of your chest.
Okay, well, hopefully not that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's like, it's wild that it's all growing. Anyway, so you're pretty tired in the beginning. I was eating like a bagel and cream cheese like every day, but I don't know if it was actually a craving or I just like...
That sounds pretty normal.
Yeah.
My craving is like my mum, when she was pregnant with me, like ate a bag of oranges a day.
Really?
Like my dad would go to the fruit store and grab a bag of oranges before he before he goes to work, whenever it was, and then just like leave it at the house, and my mum would take it and then just eat the whole bag of oranges.
That
and
was
the next
really
day,
specific.
the next day, my dad would get another bag of oranges and like drop it off. Like
Yeah,
that was like a craving for my mom. I know people have like pickle cravings or like ice cream.
The problem is like I eat pickles anyway, so I'm eating pickles. But honestly, just like I just want bagels and cream cheese. But I think it's just that they're good.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is you have to eat all the time. So like I only get nauseous if I don't eat. So
Really? That's interesting. Oh.
It's almost, I think of it as like a way that makes your body make sure you're not losing weight. Like when you would get hungry, I get really nauseous. So I'm like, it's a make sure that I'm eating. But
should we have prepared food for this podcast?
Actually, I have snacks.
Okay, good.
You always
Thank
bring
God.
snacks. That's what you learn.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of, being an athlete, it's kind of good because I feel like you're kind of used to like snacking.
Yeah.
My friends who aren't, like, they get all messed up. Anyway, a few weeks ago, I was crewing Bates and Scott in a long run, and I had a USADA like that morning, so I had to get up super early, and then last minute, like, Nick got sick, and so was like, okay, I have to go do this, like, crew them. And so usually I bring snacks all the time, but like I didn't bring snacks because I was like rushed. Anyway, so I start crewing their long run, and I'm supposed to like give them their gels or whatever, or their and I realized like 2 miles in that I don't have any food in the car.
Yeah.
And like literally the nausea, if it hits, sucks. It's like you are out all day and you can kind of feel it coming. And I'm like, fuck, I literally have no food in the car. I have like 2 more hours of this. There's literally no, and I usually have snacks in the car, but I didn't. Anyway, point being, I was like, well, I have these gels. So basically I essentially ate their discarded gels. Like I got their gels back.
That's disgusting.
I thought you were going to say the new ones.
No, I couldn't eat the new ones.
So you're saving yourself from nausea by eating discarded gels
Which-
from a long run. That's the
Yeah.
most runner pregnancy story I've ever heard.
But to be honest, it was great because like it's meant to be like glucose straight to your stomach. So I actually was like, it should be someone should start a company that like just rebrands gels as like anti-nausea meds. But so yeah, for you guys.
Do it.
But yeah, it was a pretty runner story. So
That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's such a good story.
Why don't you just like take a little bit off the top of the one you were giving them?
Hey guys, I ripped it for you.
Yeah, I've already got it open.
If it feels a little lighter, it's
Don't worry, it tastes good.
that now you saying that makes sense. In my mind, it was like all or nothing. So it's like I obviously can't eat their whole gel, but that would have been smart.
You
But
were
I-
desperate and you weren't thinking straight.
Yeah, exactly.
So you like discarded before, like actually just taking a bit off the top.
Yeah.
Man, you would have to pay me so much money to eat someone's discarded gel. Like, I'm just like, obviously I can see where you were coming from at the time. That's desperate. That's like emergency. Like, I need to get something in, but a discarded gel to me is like,
I can't see Morgan ever doing that.
I could not
Even
do
if you were
that.
like gonna be sick, you're just like, I'll be sick.
yeah, I would take the nausea in that case, I think. But,
Yeah, I know. I was pretty desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
going back to how it felt running at the start, and I feel like we've talked about this a couple of times, and the blood volume, etc.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, we've all talked about it, but Alpuria racing while pregnant, or however many races she said she ran pregnant, which is incredible. Like that's so.
There is
dope,
a number.
by the way.
She said a number.
She said something like,
I think like 5.
I did 5 races this season
Yeah.
pregnant. Is that?
Citrus Mag will fact check that, but yeah, 5. That's a
sounds
lot
like-
of races.
I think it's because she was doing. I think she did USA's and Worlds. I think it's because of the rounds.
Ah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah.
True. Did she know each time?
I don't know.
Do you think that sounds possible though? Do you think you'd run fast?
I mean, early on, if you don't get nauseous, like you could. Yeah. I mean, that's literally that was the thing with the East Germans. That's how they doped. They like got women pregnant in the 80s, and then made them abort the babies
there's
because
been
of
some
like
bad shit about
because of like the blood volume and the hormones and stuff.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's fucked.
That's
but I
really
mean,
fucked up.
basically, that is a thing. Like sometimes you see women like after giving birth, like they have, if they don't get injured, they have a little boost. Because I think, I mean, I don't know why. It's like something about the physiology of it. Yeah.
Do you know how, like, I guess maybe it's just you play it by ear, but can you run through the whole time, pretty much, like through your pregnancy, or are you meant to like stop running at some point?
People are totally different. I mean, I think, so yeah, I mean, literally I've run up until now, like 2 days ago, I did a fartlek and like averaged like 6 miles at like 6-ish pace, 6:15, which obviously when I'm in shape, that's not great. But again, I'm like heavier and like, I'm still like working out to some degree. When I first got pregnant, I like called all the runners I know. So I like called Kara Goucher and Molly Huddle and different people and asked them what they did. It's just like super variable, I think, based on like how your body feels. Like some women, yeah, like run up until the very end. And some end up like things start hurting.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's pretty good that you were calling up like ex runners that have been pregnant to like that's really smart.
It was kind of cool that I feel like I could do that. Yeah. But
because I feel like it's a resource that people might not even think about.
Yeah.
When they're pregnant, it's like, oh, I maybe should talk to these runners who have been through what I'm about to go through right now.
But basically, it's just like what we all do, but just more intense. Is like do what feels right. You know, like if it feels not right, you shouldn't do it.
Well, you know your body better than anyone, so it's like, judging it would be your call.
But I was saying. Well, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was saying that I got drug tested and was really worried about that. Like I wasn't sure about whether or not. I mean, I know that I wasn't sure about whether or not you could. So basically, like, I got drug tested the morning before. I got 4 weeks. So the way it works is you have your whatever. Well,
you have your whatever.
You have your period. The way it works, you have your period, and then 2 weeks later, you need to conceive. So you guys.
Good word.
Yeah.
Good word.
And then 2 weeks later is when you can like first test to see if it worked. So I was at USA's, and I kind of like could tell, because there's different things you can like random things you can kind of tell that you are, but you have to like you won't show positive on the test until 4 weeks into it. So technically you're 4 weeks pregnant when you first test positive. Anyways, so the morning before I was able to take the pregnancy test, USADA came, and I was so sure I was pregnant because I was like, everything feels different. Like there's different. I mean, what happens? You get really thirsty. Like your boobs start kind of hurting. Just like different things that you can just like you just know. Anyway, but I hadn't taken the test yet. And USADA came, and I was really freaked out because it's like, fuck, I'm gonna test positive. Like I'm gonna like something's gonna show weird in my blood. So I hadn't told Patrick yet because I was waiting to like be sure, but I told USADA. So I told USADA, I was like, and I had to like write down like I am pregnant. And
would you write down I might be pregnant?
Yeah.
Well, so I actually had taken a test like 2 days earlier because you can take them early. And you know, like when you do COVID and it's like the tiniest faint line. So there was like a super faint line, but I didn't want to do the one that I showed Patrick because I was like, you literally have to squint so hard. So I kind of.
He wouldn't see it either. He looked at like, there's no line here.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I know it's gonna show up. Like there's a tiny line, but I hadn't. But I was still like saying, I think I'm pregnant, but I knew. So I told them, I was like, I am pregnant.
I love it that you told USADA before you told Patrick. That's like another great running story. I mean, that's a smart thing to do. Like you definitely put it down.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on.
Don't know what's going on.
USADA, man, they know everything.
Yeah, they honestly do. Like they like just
Yeah.
Give them as much information as you can.
They know all of our secrets.
Yeah.
Episode
What's up,
14,
everybody? Welcome to
Christmas
episode
special,
14 of
the
the Coffeeclub
UAC
pod.
name announcement.
Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve when this is coming out. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves with these Christmas holidays. Here at the Coffeeclub pod, we celebrate Christmas hard. We got presents for each other. That's coming later in the episode, but we're doing things a little different today.
I'm so excited we're doing a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Christmas special is the best. Like every good show has a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Are there any other podcasts in the running world that have Christmas specials like this?
I think we've already superseded
every other.
No one's just committed, bro.
We've superseded that.
Dude,
like
no one else is...
Christmas specials on like The Office,
Yeah.
Downton Abbey Christmas specials.
Yeah. No, we're... I think we're on top of the podcast game. I can tell you Citrus Mag ain't doing no Christmas specials.
No, Citrus Mag ain't doing that.
I mean,
so excited.
I say that, but maybe they will. Who knows?
Who knows? They might see this and be like, ooh.
But
It'll be too late by then. It'll be Christmas
we've
Eve.
already done it.
Yeah.
That's how organized we are.
The format for today, we're doing something fun. We're gonna open presents that we got for each other later, but first we're gonna do our Christmas wish list for the sport, or kind of anything in general. And I think we just get right into it because we all have some stuff that we want to talk about. And the first thing that I had written down is for the UAC, which is Union Athletic Club, to either change their name or just to continue to be made fun of. That's the first thing I'm like.
I think I definitely want
There's
them
no
to
chance-
still be made fun of.
There's no chance we're gonna stop making fun of them.
Oh my
The
God.
last 24 hours, all we've done is make fun of
Yeah, for context for
UTI
anyone.
track club.
Yeah.
UT, whatever.
Yeah. So the name came out yesterday for this is the group coached by Pete Julian, formerly
Pete's
Oregon.
Dragons.
Yeah, formerly Pete's Dragons, but then even before that, the Oregon Project. Yeah, but they're in a big rebranding phase, as they have been since their coach got accused or found guilty of doping 2 years ago. They've been in what you would call a rebranding phase, and
Staying low, keeping quiet.
so it's been a few years where they've been nameless, and everyone's just seen them running around and being like what's going on with this group? What are they gonna do?
What's
But
cooking here? What's cooking here?
to
Apparently,
everyone's
they-
excitement,
Spent 2 years cooking up a fantastic name for everyone.
yeah.
Union Athletic Club.
Athletic Club. Oh, so
It also sounds very
Oh.
similar, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It sounds
It's
like
pretty original. I'd
it
say.
sounds very similar.
Pretty
I wonder if
damn
there's a
original.
group before them that has a similar kind of term of like UAC. I can't.
yeah.
Oh wait, it's our group on
Yeah.
Athletics Club.
Well,
Isn't
well,
that
well.
interesting?
On Athletics Club and Uni on Athletics Club.
Well, the good thing for their brand is it's the first union they've recognized. So congratulations. I mean, it's great to see a brand moving forward and thinking about the people. So we should. That's
They're doing
is that
great
good for the
things over
sport?
there.
I don't know. But Union
I
Union
don't
Athletic
know
Club.
about that.
The name Union Athletic Club is not good for
So
the sport,
bad.
bro.
It's so bad.
Oh, it was so anticlimactic. I thought I was about to fall asleep.
Yeah, and like they had.
There was
Just
such a
announced.
build up too.
Yeah,
That-
the trailer,
some
the
video-
ominous trailer.
like
Oh my
multiple
God.
videos over the last like few months. Or even
Mhm.
I don't even know when that first one came out.
It's been a while. It's been a long while, and this is what they give us, and it's just on one hand such a letdown, on the other hand just.
All right, what's worse though,
so
the
many
name
jokes.
or
the
the logo?
Yeah, the logo's pretty bad.
What is the logo?
The logo is two hands fighting over a torch.
It's like
That's
with
beautiful.
with the torch in the middle.
George and Ollie are
Something
holding
like
hands
that.
right now. That's Union. I can see it.
But the thing is, it just like Pete's Dragons.
Now, when do we get to the point where
We don't call them Pete's Dragons anymore.
no, they're just when we can mention that they're the least united track
I'm
Yeah.
mentioning it right now.
that anyone's ever seen.
I mention it right now because I don't think it's any rumor, particularly in like the running world, that a lot of those group members don't even like reside in Portland.
Yeah, maybe that's not well known outside.
The coach
of,
lives
like,
in Denver,
the pro
so
running world, but most
doesn't seem very
professional runners
united.
are aware that that group spends very little time together.
they just don't, they just
The
it's just
coach lives
collection
in a
of
separate
people.
city.
They don't really train together.
The newest member, young Charles Hunter.
Oh yeah, that was. I guess we
before
already
the name
knew
of the
that.
group even came out, he'd already left. He'd already
Really?
gone. He'd already gone to Flagstaff.
He's in flag right now.
Before
Really?
they even announced the
Yeah.
name of the Portland group, he'd left Portland.
Damn, mustn't have liked Portland that much. Spent 1 week
Yeah,
there.
what's
and
the
he's
like,
gone.
eh?
But I found that interesting that trailer video kind of inadvertently announced or confirmed that Charlie Hunter was in that group, which we kind of already knew. But then on the flip
Yeah.
side, the guys was only him and Donovan Brazier, so it also kind of confirmed that
Craig and
Eric
Jenkins,
Jenkins were out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left.
I
It
would
kinda
say
did.
so.
Yeah,
It
no,
wasn't like-
it did
it wasn't
confirm it.
written confirmation.
Why would you
but
not?
Close enough.
Why would you not show one of the most like popular
Yeah.
athletes
Yeah.
in the video? which
Craig Ingles is
Ingles.
getting in your announcement
Yeah.
video if he's like on the team. I mean,
He
Maybe
literally
those two heard about the name
and were like,
just- and
Craig
had- and
heard the name. He's like, I'm getting the
This-
fuck out, bro.
You definitely know that. I mean, the athletes likely don't support it.
Oh,
And and Craig
We're
is
not
definitely.
We're definitely
making
not
fun of
saying that
name.
the athletes were the ones that came up with the name or endorsing that. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that the brand has picked a
Yeah.
name that is fucking
We're not.
atrocious
We're not
for a
personally
group that's
attacking the
supposed to
athletes.
be. I mean, this group's it's supposed to be one of the best groups in.
the group represents certain things, and one
Yeah.
of those things is not unity.
No, I mean,
So
it's been.
to be called the Union Track Club is an athletic club. So
Would you say that's counterintuitive?
it's a little. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't quite add up. And then
I don't know what it's a union of.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not the athletes and the coach and the team, because we already know that the least. No. All right, come on.
Gus is trying to get up on the
Good boy.
couch.
Welcome, Gus. Yeah. No.
A union of what?
It's just such a, it's like a shell. Like it's so hollow. Like it's just a name and an image now. But
I feel like
underneath
everyone can see through it.
Underneath it, there's nothing there. And
there's absolutely no.
And the other thing which we've already mentioned is the fact that they went after the athletic club rather than track club.
There is not a single team in this country with the name Athletics Club until a year ago.
OAC on Athletics Club, and now what do you see?
The very next team to be created. Well, not quite actually.
Yeah.
A couple of others have created names in the last year.
Yeah.
My question is this with the group, right? Like, obviously, this is not great PR for them. This name, are they going to set?
We're
it?
talking about them though.
Yeah, they reckon they're going to change it.
No.
Like if the athletes had that much,
it's way too late.
Say the athletes are like, this is a garbage name, we need to change this. They can't do it now.
I think it's too late.
They would have already. I'm sure the athletes found out earlier than 2 days ago.
It's tough though. Like if I was in that, I mean, did you see the posts? We strive together. We clean. I don't know.
You kind of got to do that though. Once you're.
Oh no, I know that.
You have
but like,
to lean into it.
It's obviously not them saying that. It's not the athletes saying that. It's the brand saying it. But the way
they
was
all post that same
portrayed,
thing.
yeah.
I don't think I followed any of them.
They didn't all post the exact same caption, but it was all the exact same message.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed very. It seemed like bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's suggesting that the previous team that it replaced was like the Confederate Athletics Club.
Yeah, but it's still like, the thing is, regardless of how they rebrand and rename it, it's still like segments of the Oregon project.
Yeah. And
like it is Oregon project. It just tried to rebrand, rename it because they were accused of doping.
Yeah.
And they've had to like change their image.
They went from like skull and crossbones to cute holding hands.
Yeah.
And they went from
much lighter approach.
Yeah. And apparently went from the Confederacy to the Union.
Yeah, that's a good move for them. And the other, so obviously, taking the athletic club thing is kind of annoying because that's like the on thing. But then also, we were talking about how if they did maintain track club and it was Union Track Club, then it would be UTC, which just sounds too much like a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah.
So
it's a lose-lose.
It is. It really is. I don't know what else they could have done. I guess anything would have been better.
Anything would have been better than that.
Anything would have been better.
It was just atrocious.
Episode 85, Craig Mottram gives the boys advice.
If you were running today, like you're in the primary career, 2023, whatever, what would your PBs be?
Oh, it's a very good question. I mean, you're alluding to the technology and the pacing lights and all of those sort of things, but I'd have to say they're what they are. I mean, you can only speculate as to what you think they might be. But
I think they'd be a lot quicker.
I'm being modest.
That was a very modest answer.
Well, let me warm up a little bit.
Ritz is not quite as modest. Back to Ritz.
Got to run 12:40.
Well, yeah, I think it may be a little bit quicker, but I don't know. Is the answer to that? We'll just keep them as they are because I'm quite happy with what I did, and let you guys now take them to the next level.
Is there one aspect though, like? Do you think, I'd love to have had that in my career, like just to test it out?
The lights. Yeah, the first time I've actually seen it in real life was at Mount Sac on the weekend, and watching the lights, I think would have made a massive difference. Even more so to control the pace early as well. So I think from that point of view, the pacing lights, do I like them? It's an interesting question. Do I think they should be in the bigger meets? Maybe not. I like the racing side of our sport, and I like the championship style of racing, so I think it serves a purpose. But in terms of the times, people are getting quicker. They're not getting a lot quicker. The best guys are actually not getting quicker than the best guys back when I was running, but the depth and the volume of athletes that are running faster is greater.
Well,
so I think that really supports that.
They're not necessarily better. That's the thing. Even if they're running quicker time trials, obviously there'll always be questions about if you match up the greats from all the different eras, but I think there'd be a very strong argument that your era of professional running was the strongest still.
We had very good strength in the 5K, 10K and 1500 of Helga Rouge, Legat, those guys. I remember lining up, sorry, I'll take it back, no stories. Not being banned from stories. No, but 2004, I remember lining up in the 5K final in Athens and looking up at the flame, and my coach said at the time, take it in when you get out there because these things don't come around all the time. And so I had a look at the flame and, fantastic. And then looked to the left, I had El Garouge and Bakili. And then looked to my right, I had Gebra Selassie and a few others. And I was like,
I'm taking it in. It's too much.
I'm taking it in, but it's there's a bit coming out. Yeah. So look, there was a lot of really, really good athletes back then that were pushing the boundaries of what the sport could do. And even today, it's the same situation. They're just different names. The sport's always evolving, always progressing, and there's the next generations coming through year on year. And you guys are at the top of it at the moment. But in 4 or 5 or 6 years from now, there'll be another group, and you'll be just like me, sitting there doing podcasts in wherever the next famous training location is. And it may be Boulder, it may not be.
Maybe Melbourne.
It may be Melbourne.
Well,
we'll talk about that in a bit. But enjoy your time while you're here, and enjoy the opportunities that are presented, because as much as I loved my time in the sport, it does move past you very quickly.
Oh man, that's so much wisdom right there. I feel like that just sparks off so many questions. I think one of the things that I did want to ask you, I kind of wanted to ask you later, but right now I think would be a great moment. Do you have advice for us as professional runners that maybe wouldn't be the same advice that you would give to, let's say, a more casual or even an elite runner? Specifically looking at professional running, what in your mind is it that separates winning a medal, making a final?
I think we may have even been off air when you said this, but everyone in the competitions these days at the or international level, at championship level, is talented, very talented. They're not there because they haven't got talent. They're there because they want it as much or more than the next person. So I think when you line up, and I listed some names before, almost everyone in the final of those events and in the Diamond Leagues has the ability to compete to win those races. It's the athletes that want it the most are the ones that position themselves in the race to compete to win. And you see it so often. The athletes don't necessarily believe they position themselves in the middle and then fall out the back when there's a point in the competition where you've got to decide if you're all in or not. And I do a lot of coaching with high school kids in Australia, as well as the OAC Down Under Oceania group. And it's the same. The rules are the same in competition, and the psychology is very similar. You've got to opt into the competition when it happens. And I think if I was to give you advice, it wouldn't certainly be around competition, because you're all very good at it, you're experienced and you're professional in the way you go about it. It would be around enjoying it, taking it in, living the lifestyle as long as you can, and making decisions that are going to better your running while you're in it. And you've already done that by obviously being in Boulder and being part of the OAC with Dathan and everything else. But when you go to places, take it in. Spend a couple of hours. You guys do it better than what we did, actually. Back in the day, I've got my passport, looks amazing, but I couldn't tell you anything about the cities we went to. But you guys with your, coffee pod, whatever this thing's called.
No, that's the correct name. I don't know what it is. That's the correct name. That's the correct name.
With your running groups and all that sort of stuff at Mount Sac, and you're really engaging with people and taking in the experience, which I think is awesome, because when you look back and you think about it, you've probably got 10 years in the sport and you've got 30 or 40 years beyond the sport, and you want to do the best you can, but you want to try to set yourself up a little bit as well, and that can be through the networks you make and the opportunities you have. And enjoy where you are, guys, because it doesn't last forever.
Episode 99.9, Grants Girls Part 2.
And I think we'll get into it now. We know of some other high-profile Bowman members that are 90% leaving, almost certain, but none of them had announced
They got
it
one
yet.
foot in the door.
Yeah,
Yep.
but no one was talking about Grant. I mean, if you think about it, how it's going into an Olympic year. He ran 7:25 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. The year before that, he ran the American record in the 5K and the 10K
And the 3K.
And
the 5K indoors.
4
in 1 year.
So it's this guy seems like he's got it all set. However, one key change. What was that change?
The team moved to Eugene.
the
team moved to fucking Eugene. And you know what? All these rants and all the shit that I've said, somehow things have aligned in my favor.
It's very vindicated.
It's very vindicated, because I think I wasn't at Florence 5K. I wasn't there. But Grant had a race that he didn't think was his best. And the chat in the cool down area was there was issues in Eugene. And there's issues with not being at altitude, issues with the team not getting the attention it needs, and this is just a a repercussion from that. And honestly, it did shock me as well because, we're kind of on the loop with stuff. And we were all at dinner. It was the last night. We had the dinner with the summit. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, everyone's on their phone. It was like the Apple News app just came up and everyone's like, wait, what? This should happen? Like, it was the talk of the dinner from then on. But they moved to Eugene and that's the consequence, I guess. You lose but I would say he's the face of Bauman. Right, you guys would say the same.
I'd
say when you think of Bauman,
him and Elise are the
two. Yeah, him and Elise Coney are the faces.
The golden kids.
Golden child.
Yeah.
Eugene has to be the first domino. And when we say we're shocked that Grant left, I feel like as soon as they moved to Eugene, we were open to the idea of anyone leaving.
That is true.
Like that point, we heard about all the discontent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at that point, you're like, all right, maybe someone will leave. But it took until.
Well,
is he the first to leave since they moved to Eugene? Like, because maybe, you give it, they're like, all right, fuck it, we'll give it a year.
Yeah, I think some other people didn't move to Eugene, like maybe Amos.
Yeah.
Was he with them a year ago and then he left? I'm not sure.
Well, the interesting thing...
he left before or after that.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I heard, which was, this is alleged, I don't know if this is actual true because I haven't got truth from Grant, but apparently the way that they found out that Jerry was moving to Oregon was that Grant was one of the references in the resume and they called him up, the university called him up and said, you're coached by Jerry, blah, blah, blah. Like, can you talk about him? And then that's how Grant found out was he was on, like, he got a call from Eugene, Oregon saying that we're going to give him a job.
I thought it was for the press release. Like, how do you feel about it?
Oh, it could have been that too. But it was a call where he wasn't told.
It was definitely a call.
It was a call and he wasn't told. And then I think he told the team and then the team told Jerry, like, hey, what's going on here? And Jerry's like, yeah, we're moving to Eugene. Yeah. Like, I can imagine if Grant was the first one to find that out.
Well, I mean, the mindset, like, has to be... In Grant's position, you have the best year of your life training, best year of your career, in Portland, doing their normal altitude stints. You finish that year and then your team uproots. And you're like, fuck it, all right, give this 1 year. He's injured, comes like 9th in Florence, definitely tells everyone that he thinks being not altitude was like a factor in that. Misses Worlds. Like, there's got to be like so much discontent by the end of that year. Yeah, obviously, he ran so well by the end because he is just...
He's like, Grant Fisher.
He's one of the top 5 best runners in the world, probably, at that distance. So it makes sense, but...
Yeah, that's a
but
good
you
way
could
of
see it
looking at
coming.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And I think the altitude thing is a big one. And at some point, we'll get to supposed relocations.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a big point.
It's like when we talked about Jerry taking the Oregon job and bringing all the Bauman staff along with him and giving them also Oregon jobs. Like there was no staff left, I don't think, that had specifically a Bauman job. It was just like, how is that going to work? Like, it didn't make any sense at all. Like, we said how crazy it was. And yeah, the proof is now in the pudding because you got all this shit going on with Bauman. And then even like I don't even think the Oregon team is doing that well. Like, I don't know.
I have honestly
we haven't been following college very well.
We shouldn't say anything just in case. Like, I don't know.
And also he hasn't been there for that long, so it's like you wouldn't normally like be that hard on a coach after 1 year.
Well, I mean, Shalane Flanagan.
This is his second cross season, though.
Huh?
Yeah, I think he took over a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So this is his second.
Did they make NCAAs?
I don't know. I know they're not ranked very high right now, and they did get really good recruits, but...
I wonder if they're running. Another thing we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about the college.
Was Jerry available for comment?
No, not this time.
Not this time. Is he the Instagram? Was that his comment? Or?
Maybe he does run the Instagram.
That'd be actually amazing if he was running the Instagram.
He wrote that big caption.
Yeah.
Remember those few people that didn't get a Bauman goodbye from the Instagram?
Oh yeah, I remember that at the time. That was kind of contentious, wasn't it? I can't remember who that was specifically.
The funniest thing about the news is what Yared said.
What did Yared say?
I was in the gym and they were talking about it, and Riss was just talking about it, like, what's the possibility? What's Grant gonna do? Like the move, like why? Anyway, Yared's walking past with a 10-pound dumbbell, goes, "Whew, Mr. Bullet." And they kept walking, and I was like, wait, what? Well, I'm guessing he was recruited by Bauman, and he didn't pick it.
Oh, yes, and now I get it.
Yeah, but I just it was just no context in it. I was laughing my head off.
100%, that's what it means.
Yeah, good old Yard.
What do we go to next? Where we think Grant's going, or what we think the rest of the team is thinking? Your best training partner just deserted your team.
This is my hypothetical. You know what? And it's going to lead into Grant's girls because we're going to picture that he's single. We're going to picture that he's single. So, I think Grant's going to move to Denver and go on to Love is Blind season 6.
Is that where it's
That's where it's
place?
in Denver.
It's in Denver?
It's in Denver. Recruiting's out now if you guys want to get into
Good
it.
to know. Good to know.
He'll move there and then he'll meet the love of his life. Be great. And then all of a sudden, he bumps into someone. It's Pete Julian. Hey, Pete, how you doing? Pete Julian has a team in Portland. Everything was working well for you in Portland, particularly because you could go to altitude probably with the flexibility of Pete Julian's United Airlines club. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking a Pete Julian move. Personally, I think that would be the best.
Who was the athlete that actually went on Love is Blind? There was like some athlete that...
Like a track athlete?
Can't confirm. There was like some athlete that...
We got to do some research on that.
Medium retired for a little bit. Went on a like reality TV show.
Was it Nick Simmons?
There is a girl. There is a girl from Australia.
I don't know if it was The Bachelor or if it was Love is Blind or like The Shore or something.
There was a girl from Australia.
And then came back to sport, I think. That 100% happened.
Yeah, I'm finding that. No, this can't be who you're talking about. It was just this is a former Ohio State athlete was on season 4 of Love Is Blind. That
seems too niche for me.
Yeah, that's probably not the one you're talking about. But Ollie, that's a really.
I just imagined that.
That's a really good.
That's a Grant's girls confirmed that he'll go to Pete, and I think
that's suggesting that somehow Grant and Pete hadn't already talked.
No, they probably didn't. They probably didn't. He probably was like Bauman, and then now I think if I'm Grant Fisher, I'm pretty confident in my ability to be structured in my own life. I don't need the really strong structure of a team. Pete Julian, I think, could suit him because Grant's pretty smart. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. And I think Pete will give him the flexibility of going to altitude if he wants to. Staying in Portland where he probably has a life. And like
Pete would probably just do whatever, he'd be like, whatever you want to do, we're doing it.
He would give him the,
blank check. The first person to call him, though.
Yeah.
Pete?
I think so.
Yeah, but we don't know where he's going. Maybe he's already confirmed it. Yeah.
Well, no, but that's what I mean.
Like they've already talked.
I'm just thinking,
it's probably you're pretty much saying that you think they've already talked. Like they'll probably talk before Grant gets on Love Is Blind. Is what you're saying?
I'm saying
it's the same. It's the same.
I'm saying that somehow they've before Grant has applied for Love Is Blind. I think they might have chatted.
I'm just saying, there's two things to this, all right? One, if you look at it like a freaking murder mystery, the butler usually does it. And I'm thinking Pete Julian is the one that's the butler, all right? He's the one that's doing it. He's calling up Grant as soon as he knows or hears a whisper. And Grant's thinking, you know what? I have freedom, I have flexibility, and I can do what I know is going to work for me.
I want to go to Portland.
In an Olympic year. I'll stay, yeah.
Number two, Love Is Blind.
Love Is Blind would be great because I think Grant would be fantastic at the show and he'd win.
I agree.
Which means
he's
winning,
he's
such a bachelor.
Unless he's in a relationship.
Can you win that show?
We win it by getting married.
Multiple people can win technically.
Yeah, technically you can win. But I would say
it's not really winning. Well, it's winning in some way.
Knowing Grant a little bit, I think he'd be great. So Grant,
no, he would. He's like so humble.
Yeah,
he's like so smart. He could
very
talk
nice
about
from Stanford,
going to Stanford,
Olympian. Like
who wouldn't want to marry him?
Yeah, there's going to be a line at the door.
Talk about growing up in Michigan.
They'd have to change the name of the show. It would be
Grant's Girls.
Yeah.
And it'd be Coffeeclub presents Grant's Girls, and we'd be the hosts that come out, and Gus brings in the ring.
You know, it surely can't be that hard for us to
We could just set it up
to fund that show, and make it happen.
We'll have to get the CEO to sign off on it, but
Gus,
yeah, it should be fine.
He's into it.
In this situation, though, Grant's girls are Pete Julian.
Did you see the Citrus Mags post? They put 20 coaches out there. I know they're just doing it. They're kind of going down the route of trying to be a bit ridiculous. So people say what are you guys talking about? There's no way he would go
Bobby
there.
Kersey was on there.
There's Bobby Kersey on the list.
I see what you guys are doing.
That's awesome. Actually, honestly, Grant moving to Bobby Kersey would be the most flex move. Everyone's like, so I'm going straight down to the 800.
I want to go to LA. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
No, Joe Bosshard was on there.
Bosshard was on there.
Andy Powell.
Mike Smith.
Chris Miltenberg.
Holcocker's coach.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Thomas.
Ben Thompson.
Yeah. So there's a lot
Those are Grant's girls in this situation, I feel like.
But
we got the animation, Grant's girls, and then you have them walk out.
You have other coaches walking through some smoke.
And then you have the interviews where they sit down. He's like, I really need Grant. I really need this for my career. You have the
Grant
interviews.
Is an amazing athlete. I think to really take him to the next level.
He shouldn't go.
This would be such a good show.
And then they start bitching about each other, and Pete's like, he shouldn't go to Ben Thompson. That guy doesn't know what he can do with a great person like Grant. I know what I can do. And then you just have them it'd be unreal. Wouldn't it be a good show?
We should make this happen.
Good. Surprise guest comes in, just like, yeah, I'm gonna coach him. He's got no choice.
There'd be a surprise guest, like it's like, you know how they bring people back. Jerry comes in on like, he's like, give me another chance. Please, give me another chance.
It won't happen again.
It'd be so good. We're gonna make this happen.
Thank you to everyone for listening. We love you, and we will see you next week.